Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, and this is your Cannabis Business Podcast. Today, we're here live at the World Trade Center in Seattle. I'm here with Jim Makoso, founder of Lucid Oils. Jim is a cannabis extraction processing professional in the cannabis industry. In January 2015, he co-founded Lucid Lab Group, a cannabis extraction technology company based in Seattle. Jim's vision was to create a scientific approach to cannabis essential oil processing by utilizing customized capital equipment in combination with proven scientific processes. By taking a quality-centric approach, Jim has created a company culture known throughout the industry for quality in product and process. Prior to co-founding Lucid, Jim engaged Vuber Technologies as an angel investor in January of 2014. He joined the business management team, where he held the position of vice president responsible for strategic partnerships and business development until October of 2015. He remained on the board of directors until December of 2016, and by spearheading a business model focused on product development while maintaining a customer-first approach, Vuber has become a leading vaporizer company with strong partnerships that include manufacturers, cultivators, processors, and retailers throughout the U.S. Prior to his involvement in the cannabis industry, Jim was a finance professional in New York for 6 years. He holds an economics degree from Stony Brook University with a focus in business finance. Jim, thanks for being on board.
Thanks for having me.
But to kind of unpack the innovation a little bit, so innovation transforms a market or creates a new one through simplicity and convenience, affordability or accessibility. Pre-rolls are huge sellers. Vapes are a huge seller because of the convenience factor. We're seeing a little bit of pushback right now on vaping damaging lungs. There's some news about whether it's Altria or vaping CBD is damaging some lungs. It's I haven't really seen a lot of white paper on it, just some noise. It's misinformation at this point. You'll have to look into it yourself. But I'm wondering, with the new normal of constant change requiring mastering a perpetual transformation, what is disruptive innovation? Why is it important? Why is it so hard to, a lot of organizations are designed to execute and not innovate. So again, why is it important? Why is it hard?
Innovation in general, one of the reasons why it's hard is to innovate is literally to go against or to do what others are not willing, capable, financed to do. Now, as a small company, we're a small company, so we don't have the Altria $2 billion to develop vape tech. But what I would say is, for every Altria, there's 100 very small companies that are going to be going after the same market. Maybe not with those types of resources, but at the end of the day, there are companies that put billions of dollars into innovation all the time that never do anything. Then there are small companies that end up becoming Instagram. So innovation is just a word. The idea behind it, which is creating something new. And in the case of a capitalist, creating something new that you can capitalize off of, that's a difficult thing. It's a difficult task, and it's because it involves, especially in cannabis, it involves understanding or at least predicting what you think people are going to want in the future. Now, if you are a consumer like myself and like my business partner, who's been in this market professionally for 5 years legally and maybe much longer illegally, but if you're a consumer in that time frame and you're a product manufacturer and you're an equipment manufacturer, let's say you may have some advantage, because as a consumer, we kind of know what we want. As a product manufacturer, we can then make those products. As an equipment manufacturer, we can design equipment to do it much more efficiently. For me, just from a macro standpoint, companies that innovate will always be, to me, more valuable than a company that can just produce a billion widgets very efficiently. There are definitely companies, including in this state and others, that are doing great from a revenue standpoint because they can produce many, many widgets because they're well financed at a very low margin and still get by, because they can lose money for years and they'll never go out of business because they're well capitalized. And I think those companies are important because they drive the market. But for me, I love innovative companies, no matter what size they are, because at the end of the day, innovation is what's necessary to move an industry forward. Yeah, people will always love weed, of course. But, years ago, nobody knew that a vape pen was even a way to consume cannabis. And, there's still, the jury's out on how healthy it is. But one thing I would say for sure, a properly manufactured vaporizer is a healthier way of consuming cannabis than a joint. And the reason that is with a joint, you're combusting things. So you're producing byproducts that are not what you want to consume. They're carcinogenic. In the case of a properly manufactured vaporizer, which jury's out on what that means, but a properly manufactured vaporizer that can get the exact temperature range that you want for optimal vaporization is always going to produce a much cleaner inhalable smoke, or in this case vapor, than smoke would ever. So yeah, I mean, are we going to see adverse effects on people who have vaped for however many years with vaporizers that are unproven or whatever? Yeah, of course. I mean, you know, this is still new technology, but and we still lack a lot of information. But I will say is tech innovation and technology in general, just because it isn't great in the first go around, should never be hampered. Innovation is necessary. Innovation will always be necessary to drive an industry forward.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest hurdles is banking. Obviously, in Canada, they have access to capital. They're able to go up there, file an IPO or reverse takeover, get that capital, come back into the U.S. We've already seen a lot of them kind of acquire hemp, property, plant, and equipment, take advantage of that 280E so they can write off those on their taxes. And then in the eventuality that THC is legalized, then they can just transfer those assets over to the cannabis side. So with that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is the Talking Hedge. I want to thank my guest, Jim Makoso with Lucid Oils. Check him out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't. And I'm out.